And we're live, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. If you, it looks like I have a little bit of technical problem, so please do me a favor. Can you let me know in the chat if you can hear me and see me okay? That would be really, really helpful. Okay, so let's get this chat up. Sorry, guys, I'm still quite new to live lessons and can be a little bit confusing. Hello, Masood. How's it going? How are you? Hope you're having a nice day. Carlos here from the Basque Country in Spain once again. That's awesome. I hope you're having a good day, Carlos. Okay. Guten Morgen from Austria. Hello, Heidi. It's good to see that I have my regular students here. This is amazing. Heidi, I hope you're having a lovely day. Carlos, I hope you're having a good day as well. And also Masood. As if anyone else is in here, please introduce yourself to the rest of the students and to me. Please let us know your name and where you come from. Okay, so once again, this is going to be an English Q&A. I'm sorry, I didn't have time to plan a mini lesson like I used to on Wednesdays because I have new classes on Wednesdays now, and they finish at 3:30 for me in Korea, and it's now 4 o'clock here in Korea for me. So I don't have time to do it at the moment. Hopefully, from next week or the week after, I'll prepare more in advance. But for today, let's just have another English Q&A. So I'll basically let you ask me any question you have about English, and I'll do my best to answer as well as I can. So if you have any English questions or about English language, about British culture, about me, please write them in the chat box below. I'll tell you a little thing about British culture. Yesterday, on November 5th, was Fireworks Day, or we call it Guy Fawkes Night or Fireworks Night. Basically, that's a celebration we have all over the UK where we light fireworks, we have a big bonfire, and we all get together and celebrate and eat lots of candy if you're a kid. Basically, what happened a long time ago, I can't remember the date exactly, but there was this man called Guy Fawkes, and he tried to kill the King of England, who was, I believe, was King Charles. He tried to kill the King of England by setting the Houses of Parliament on fire, basically making it into a big explosion using gunpowder. Gunpowder is basically the chemical that is in fireworks. It was a failed attempt, so he was caught and then executed, of course, like you did back in the days. And now we celebrate the 5th of November every year by having fireworks and a big fire. And it's fun. We don't really pay much attention to the history of it, but it's just a very exciting evening, especially for young children. Heidi says, is that the guy that aspired the Masks of Anonymous? Yes, that's exactly true. So the Masks of Anonymous come from the movie V from Vendetta, which was inspired by the movie, by Guy Fawkes. So yes, you're right. Hello, Purple Lee. I hope you're doing well. How's it going? Okay, guys, so yeah, that's a little bit of British culture, fireworks nights. How about you? Do you have any special holidays or special events taking place in your country in the winter? Except for Christmas, but anything around now, maybe autumn or winter. Hello, you. You is here. You is one of my favorite students. She always attends these live lessons and is a great contributor to my channels on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So thank you, you. I hope you're having a nice day. Imran Khan, good to see you. I hope you're having a good day as well. So guys, just to let you know, if you're new to this channel, my name is Luke. I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for 9 years. I work at a university in South Korea, in Seoul, and I teach English language, speaking skills, listening skills, academic writing skills, and I also lecture a little bit in some methods of teaching. So it's I love my job. I love living in South Korea. Oh, we have a Korean speaker in our chat now, Kim Bokin. Hello, Kim. So she is from Korea, but now living in Cambodia. Wow, that's interesting. Why are you in Cambodia? So guys, as always, if you have any English questions, please write them in the chat box below and we will go through them together. I'll try my best to answer as well as I can. Okay, it looks like we have 10 people here already. Wow, this is excellent. My live lessons seem to be becoming more popular, so this is really good news for me. Okay, so Heidi has a bit of a personal question. She said, what do I miss most about living in Wales or the UK? Well, okay, of course my family. I really miss my family a lot. I've lived in Korea for 9 years. I've been living out of the UK for 12 years in total. I do go back really often, at least twice a year. But I definitely miss my family a lot. I miss my friends. But apart from my family and friends, what I miss is our pub culture. So we have a really interesting culture when it comes to pubs in the UK. People go there to drink beer, obviously, but it's not very, not always serious drinking. It's much more socializing. Usually people only drink maybe 1 beer or 2 beers in the late afternoon or early evening, and just have a chat with their friends or colleagues, and usually have a bit of food as well, some fish and chips in the pub. I really miss that kind of culture. It's very lively. You have a lot of good conversations, so I miss that a lot. I also miss the beautiful countryside. So where I come from in Wales, we have amazing hills and mountains and green fields and lovely coastline with beautiful beaches. So I really miss that too. I miss many things, actually. SK says hi. Hello, SK. I think SK might... No, I have a student called SK, but I don't think it's my student. Uhi says, hello, Luke. Hello, Uhi. I hope you have a nice day. Purple Lee says that in Korea, there's a tradition called, says dongji. We usually eat red bean porridge. Yes, I love red bean porridge, especially in the summer. But not porridge, but the pat bingsu. I love that in summer. That's such a nice summer dish. Okay, Carlos says, we've got Santo Tomas here in the San Sebastian in Spain, basically where people wear traditional local customs. Oh, I see. Maybe you mean basically people wear traditional local costumes, and there are stalls with typical local food and products from all over the city. Wow, that sounds nice, Carlos. Carlos, what type of food is local for your area? Heidi says the pub culture, yes, it's great. SK said, oh, she took it away. Imran Khan said, what is a synonym? Well, a synonym is basically a similar word to another one. So, for example, a similar word to nice might be kind or generous. These are what we call synonyms. A synonym word to clever would be smart. So that's what a synonym is. That's a good question. Thank you, Imran Khan. SK says, who do I respect the most? I respect my grandfather the most, actually. So I'm really close to my grandparents. They are still alive, although they're very old at the moment. But my grandfather has been what can I say? An inspiration to my life. He is very wise, of course, very generous, very kind, very loving, and he's definitely someone I want to be like when I'm older. So I respect my grandfather the most. How about you, SK? Who do you respect the most? Carlos, I'm still waiting to hear about your typical local foods. I'm interested. I quite like Spanish food, so please let me know. Okay, guys, so if you're just entering this live, I think we have 13 or 14 people now. Please introduce yourself, say your name, where you come from, and if you have any English questions, this is a really good time to ask a native teacher, and I hopefully can help you as best as I can. Heidi has an interesting question. So she said, do I like Marmite? She tried it, but it was a special experience for me because Austrians are not used to eating spicy spreads. Yes, so yes, Marmite is an interesting spread we put on sandwiches in the UK. We eat it a lot in the UK, and I know Australians eat it a lot also. Do I like it? Yes, I like it a little bit. I don't love it. I like it on a sandwich with a little bit of meat. That's when it tastes good. But you can't put too much Marmite. It needs to be just a little bit, a little dab. We call it DAB, a little dab. Dab means a little bit of something. So a little dab of Marmite on a meat sandwich, and I think it tastes really good. It is, I wouldn't say it's spicy, but it's very, very salty. And it has a very unique flavor. So yes, I do like it, but I don't love it. Most people outside of the UK and Australia really hate Marmite. So has anyone here tried Marmite? If you have, let us know. If you haven't, try to find it in an international supermarket and let me know what you think. It's an interesting flavor for sure. Imran says, what's the meaning of I don't know what that word is, Imran. Pegasus? I don't know what that is. I've never seen that word before in my life, so I have no idea. If you need to know the meaning of that word, I recommend you go on to Google and type in Pegasus English Dictionary, and they can tell you some meanings. But I've never seen that word, so it's not a common word in English. Heidi, it tastes like a soup cube. Yes, it does actually. That's true. Yes, it's like eating a soup cube. Some good habits I have. I thought, okay, what are some good habits to have? Okay, so SK's question is quite broad, so I will narrow it down to language learning. Some good habits to have to learn a second language. So firstly, you have to listen and read a lot because you need a lot of input to be able to speak or write a language well. People who live in places like England or America or Australia, they have lots and lots of input because they're in a native English-speaking country. So that's why they can learn English really quickly. However, if you are not living in a native English country, maybe Austria or Indonesia or wherever you live, then you have to find time to get English input. Input, like I said, is listening or reading. So I recommend really good habit to have to learn a language is to listen or read as much as possible. However, one thing, the thing you listen to or read to, you should be able to understand most of it. If you can't understand anything, then it's too difficult and it's not helpful. You need to be able to understand most of what you listen or read to. Luckily for you guys who are learning English, there are lots and lots of material and stories and textbooks you can use to get input. So go and find lots of textbooks, storybooks, TV shows, anything you like that you can enjoy listening or reading to. That's a good habit. Imran says, what's the best grammar book for new learners? If you want to learn grammar, the best book to use is English in Use by Cambridge. Cambridge is the publisher, the company that makes the book. I'll type it in here for you. English in use. This is a really good book you can use, and there are lots of levels, so I highly recommend using that book to learn grammar. But that, grammar is not enough. You also have to speak it. So after you've studied it, take your time and practice speaking it with your friends or with your teacher. That's the next step. Okay, Carlos says it's difficult to give a short answer about the local food, but if we talk about market products, I mentioned seafood, cheese, and good qualities. T-bone steak. Oh, I love T-bone steak. And cider. Is that the cider do you mean apple beer? Because if it's spelled with a C, C-I-D-E-R, if it's that, I love cider too. It sounds great. I love seafood as well. And I remember when I was young, I went to Spain and we had a lot of calamari, which is squid. Squid in, deep fried squid. And I love that so much. In Korea, we eat lots of seafood too. And I absolutely love seafood. Yes, cider's a good drink, right, Carlos? SK said, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to do? Oh, that's a good question. Oof. SK asks really deep questions. The hardest thing I've ever had to do. Well, my master's degree was very difficult. So I did a master's degree in English language teaching and linguistics. That was really hard because I had to study a lot and I had to write a thesis. And to write a thesis, you have to write 100 pages. You have to do some research and you have to make a very good argument to supporting your hypothesis. That was really difficult. So hardest thing I've done is write a thesis for my master's degree. That was really challenging. How about you guys? What's the hardest thing you've ever had to do? Max is here. Hello, Max. Max is also a very diligent student of mine. He always attends my live lessons. So everyone say hi to Max. He's a good student, working hard at his English. He comes from Russia. So a cold country. Is it snowing today in Russia, Max? Okay, guys. So again, if you are new to this chat, this is an English Q&A. So you can ask me anything. You can ask me questions about English language, about British culture. If you have English homework, I can help you with that too if you need help. Yeah, I'm good, Max. Thank you very much. So guys, winter is coming. It's getting cold. In Seoul, it was pretty cold this morning. How's the weather like for you guys? Is it getting cold or is the weather still okay at the moment? Okay, we have an English question from Imran Khan. Okay, Imran Khan, thank you. That's a good question. His question is, can you explain something about modal verbs? Yes, sure. So the modal verbs in English are must, may, might, can, could, etc. We use modal verbs for multiple reasons. I'll just tell you one right now to keep it simple. We use modal verbs for speculation. Speculation is about guessing what is happening. So, for example, if I take a look at your name, Imran Khan, I can say to myself, you are Indian. If I say you are Indian with no modal verb, that means I'm really sure, right? And it's like, actually, I know for a fact you are Indian. If I say you must be Indian, then I'm making a speculation, but I'm quite confident. I'm quite sure that my speculation is correct, but it's still a speculation, a guess. If I say, Imran, you might be Indian, then my speculation is less certain, maybe about 50%. If I want to say, Imran, you can't be Indian, that means I'm sure that you are not Indian. So it's the negative form. That's a simple answer. Modal verbs have different functions, but that's the most common function. Listen again, so how I say it. So in terms of pronunciation, if I want to use the modal verb must. So listen to how I say this. Imran Khan, You must be Indian. You must be Indian. When we speak in it with must, actually quite often the ta goes away. So it's not you must be Indian, but it's like you must be Indian. You must be Indian. So watch out for the pronunciation. If you want to speak naturally, try to drop the ta. You must be Indian. Okay, thank you. Good question, Imran Khan. SK says, do you cut people off in the middle of conversations? No, I try not to. That's very rude, I think, but maybe I do it sometimes by mistake, but I try not to do that. That's a good question, and a good use of that verb, to cut people off. Phrasal verb, cut off, means to interrupt, by the way. So if you're new and not sure what cut off means, it means to interrupt. No, I don't cut people off. Okay, time for questions. Thank you, Carlos. Luke says, what is your native English accent? Can you do an impression or impersonation of other accents? Yeah, so I'm British, but I'm Welsh. I'm from Wales specifically. So my accent is Welsh, but it's not a strong Welsh accent. It's quite neutral. So yeah, I'm Welsh. Some common features of the Welsh accent is that we use our vowels a lot. We make our vowels very long. So people can say something like, how are you doing? How are you doing? You gets very long. How are you doing? Another feature is the word with the letter E, the air sound. We say more like ya. So it's like news. That's quite a strong Welsh accent. Other accents, let me think. I try to do an American accent. I have many American friends here. I try to copy them sometimes, but they always laugh at me. So let's give me an example. So in English, we would say, can you pass me the water? Can you pass me the water? And Americans say, can you pass me the water? Can you pass me the water? I think I'm terrible, but yeah. Basically, no, I'm not very good at impersonating other accents. Accent is an interesting concept to study. So accent, what accent does, it shows your location, shows where you come from. So it's very difficult to change your accent after you are about 12 or 13, after puberty. Your accent, it doesn't change. So even if I moved to America, and I lived in America for 10 years, my accent would never change from now because I'm too old. But if I moved to America when I was a child, I would very likely have a strong American accent. Good question, thank you. SK says, are you the oldest among your brother and sisters? Yes, I am. I have a big family, so I have 3 brothers and 1 sister. In total, we are 5, and I'm the eldest, right. I live in South Korea. One of my brothers lives in America, and the rest live in the UK, so Wales and England. So yes, I am the oldest. I miss my family a lot, especially my brothers and sisters. SK says, what am I really good at? That's a good question. I used to be quite good at playing football, football, but I'm a little bit old now. I'm 32, so I can't run as fast as I used to, but I used to be good at that. Nowadays, I think I'm quite good at editing videos, so that's my new hobby, so I try that a lot, and I'm getting better, and I want to become very good at that. Also, I like to think I'm quite good at teaching, especially in the classroom where I'm very comfortable. Teaching English live is new to me, so it's still a little bit, I'm still experimenting and trying new things. But I've been teaching English in the classroom for a long time, and I feel that I'm quite good at that now. How about you guys? What are you really good at? Write it in the chat box below. Max says, can you please give an example of the sentence where we can use the word sophisticated? Yeah, there are many ways. So I can say, that was a sophisticated answer. You gave a very sophisticated speech. You look very sophisticated today. He is a sophisticated person. It's an adjective and it can be used for many, many situations. Yes. So, yeah, many, many examples, Max. Yes, Carlos, I noticed that. I got a little bit confused when you said that, but yes, you wear a costume, so there's a little bit of spelling. But no worries, English spelling is really difficult. English spelling and English pronunciation don't match very well, so it leads to a lot of confusion for many students. Okay. Okay, Max says he's good at eating pizza. Me too. I love pizza. Okay, what do we have here? So Imran Khan says, can you explain something about could and would? Okay. Yeah, so would, with a W, would, is quite often used in hypothetical situations. A hypothetical situation means that it's not real yet. So, for example, I would go to the party, but I have to work tonight. So I would go to the party, but I have to work tonight. In this case, would means I want to go, but I cannot go. I would go, but I have to work. Could then is the past tense of can. However, it's also used as a polite modal verb to ask a polite question. So, for example, could you let me know your name, please? Even though it is the past of can, we use it in a polite way. So could you let me know your name? Could you tell me where you come from? Could you pass me the scissors, please? It can be used for a request like that. Could can also be used for ability in the past. So I would say, when I was 25, I could run really fast. Okay, I can't now, but I could when I was 25. So ability, but your past ability. Present ability, can. I can run really fast. Past ability, I could run really fast. I hope that helps, Imran Khan. Could and would have many, many different meanings, so it's quite difficult to give you a quick answer, but I do plan to make more grammar videos on my YouTube channel, and I'm definitely going to cover modal verbs in detail in one of those videos. I'm teaching a lot these days, so it's difficult for me to find time to make more videos, but in December, my schedule gets a bit lighter, a bit easier, so then I'm going to make more videos, so I'll do one on could and would just for you, Imran Khan. Hanan says, good morning, Luke. Hello, Hanan. I hope you had a nice day. It's good to see you. How's the weather where you come from? Okay, guys, so we have 13 people in this chat room. This is amazing. This chat seems to be growing and growing all the time, so I'm very happy to have you here. So thank you very much for joining me today. I'm delighted to be able to answer your questions. So if you have any English questions, don't be shy. Please ask me. SK says, when I speak English in front of people, I feel nervous. How can I remove that feeling of nervous? How can I get over that feeling? So, SK, that's tricky for me to answer because that's a lot about you and your confidence in English. I teach a course on public speaking and presentation skills at my university, and many of my students, even really advanced students, feel nervous. The best thing I tell my students is to prepare. Okay? You have to prepare a lot before you give a public speech because there's a lot of pressure. So prepare, but do not memorize. Make sure you know exactly what you want to say, but try not to memorize it because that makes you more nervous. So make sure you have the ideas ready, you know how to say it, but don't memorize it. Heidi says, are you allowed to use if and would together in the main sentence? So for example, if I didn't have, yes, you can. If I didn't have to work tonight, I would go to the party. That's totally fine. Yes. If I wasn't busy, I would go to the party. Yes, that's totally fine. That is the second conditional grammar. In English, we have 4 conditional sentences. These are if sentences. And the second conditional one goes like this. If I didn't have to work, I would go to the party. Yes, if I would. Oh, okay. Heidi says, but I heard if I would in American series a couple of times. Now I'm confused. If I would do it. If I would. I don't think that's okay, Heidi. I don't think you can say if I would. If I could is fine. If I could come, I would. But I don't think if I would is grammatically correct. Maybe the people use it in those TV shows as slang. But listen closely. It might be could. Oh, right. Okay. She says, no, if I would go to. Yes. Okay. Okay. That's okay. Yes. So Heidi says now, if I would go to. If I would go to. If I would go to the part. If I would go. No, actually, no. That's also not correct. If I could go. If I could go to the party is correct, but not would. Conditional sentences with if clauses are quite challenging. That's not correct, Heidi. Check again the American show and if you can find the full sentence, then let me know. It would be easier for me to check if I knew the full sentence. Also, by the way, guys, I made a full grammar course just on if sentences, on the 4 different types of if sentences. There is a link below in the description of this video. It's not free, unfortunately, because I put it on udemy.com. But if you click the link, you can get a big discount and try it out. It's not expensive. I think it's just $8 or something like that. It gives you 4 lessons with speaking and listening practice with the grammar points. So if you're interested in learning more about if sentences, click the link below. Okay, a question. Zakia. Hello, Zakia. Good to see you again. Happy you came here. Okay, so Zakia says, what's the difference among the words trip, journey, and travel? Okay, good. That's a good question. So, trip is basically a holiday. I'm going on a trip tomorrow. I'm going on a trip tomorrow means I'm going on a vacation or I'm going on a holiday tomorrow. Journey is usually used about the time it takes you from A to B. So, for example, the journey from Barcelona to London takes 2 hours. Journey is about the time between, the actual movement of going somewhere. That's the journey. Travel then is broader term. It's more like a hobby. So I like traveling. I want to go traveling. This is more like a hobby. Like I want to get out of my country and go abroad. So one more time, trip is very specific. I'm going on a trip tomorrow. It means I'm going on holiday tomorrow. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Journey is about the movement. You're moving. The journey by car was difficult. The journey by plane took 2 hours. Travel then is more of a bigger concept. So more like a hobby. I want to go traveling, something you want to do. So it's not as specific as trip. Okay, Max says, is this sentence correct? If we hadn't gone this way, we wouldn't have seen this beautiful building. Yes, that is correct. That is the third conditional sentence. So this is talking about a past action that happened in the past. A past action with the clause, if clause. So if I hadn't gone this way, we wouldn't have seen this brilliant building. So we did go that way and we did see the building, but you're talking about a hypothetical situation, like if you didn't go. Yeah, again, in my grammar course, in the link below, I cover the third conditional in lots of detail, so you can check that too. But that is correct, Max. Another third conditional example could be, if I hadn't studied hard in school, I wouldn't have gone to a good university. So in this case, I did study hard and I did go to a university, but I'm guessing or thinking about the opposite if I didn't study hard. So that's the third conditional. Okay, Hannah says, I've learned many words watching your videos and using some of it in writing to help memorize them. Excellent. I hope that tip is working for you, Hannah. I hope writing down helps. Writing helps me a lot when I'm learning Korean because it helps me to visualize and see the word in a sentence, so it's very useful. Thank you, Heidi. I'm glad they are helpful. If you have any more questions, let me know. Hanam, no, I don't teach on WhatsApp. I don't. I just use Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and YouTube for now. I'm just one person, so it's very difficult for me to manage lots and lots of applications. So I just use Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I want to make a Facebook group. Right now I just have a page, but I want to make a Facebook group, so I'll do that in the future. It may be around Christmas time when I have more time. Okay, Zakia has a question. Zakia says, I believe with my father's decision. Oh. Okay, Zakia, good sentence. You're using the wrong word. So not I believe with my father's decision, but I think you should say I trust. Trust. I trust my father's decisions. That means that you trust it. You think it's right. Believe is more about, like, for example, I believe in God. So I believe there is a God. Or I believe that my father is telling the truth. This is more for belief, but in your case, trust is better. Okay, Zakia says how to pronounce 3 words. The first word, I have no idea. I've never seen that word in my life, so I don't know what that word means or how to pronounce it. The other 2 are, with the V, is vicious. 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 Remember, V is a voiced sound, so your throat has to vibrate. V, v, vicious. Vicious. But that first word, Zakia, I've never seen, so I don't know. SK says, what's the difference between get rid and got rid? They're the same, but get rid is present and got rid is past. So for the present, I want to get rid of something right now. Right now. Whereas in the past, I was lucky I got rid of that thing in the past. It's finished. So just the past. Okay. Zakia says, what's the difference between dress, clothes, and suite? I think you mean suit, not sweet. Suit. S-U-I-T. What's the difference? Well, a dress is what girls wear dresses. It's I can't show you. I haven't got one, but it is a one-piece dress. I think you should look. Zakia, I recommend you Google that with some pictures. Pictures will help you a lot here. So dress is what girls wear. Clothes is general. Like this is an item of clothing. This is clothing. And a suit, usually men and women both wear suits, but they wear them to work or to formal occasions, like a wedding or a funeral. That's a suit. Okay, Hannah says that would be great. Excellent. Max says, can we use talking off and landing only for flights? Oh, taking off, Max, and landing only for flights. He's landed. Well, take off has many meanings. So to take off mean like maybe my sweater. I'm going to take off my sweater right now. I'm not, it's a little bit cold, but I could take it off. Also, a business can take off. If your business takes off, it means your business becomes very successful. Landing. It's not just for flights, because if you jump, then you land on the floor. You jump and land. So it's for people too. It's the action of from the sky or from the air to the floor. This is land. So if I take my phone, I drop my phone, I can say, oh, it landed on my desk. That's what it means. So it's not only for flights, no. Okay, Heidi says, when should I use impressive and impressing? What's the difference? Sometimes I make mistakes. Yeah, okay. So I'll tell you some examples. With impressive, you can say something like, oh, that football match was really impressive. Impressive. That means that you thought it was very amazing. It was very impressive. What else can we say? Austria is a very impressive country, right? So something that's very amazing or great for you. Impressing then is more like, I hope that I am impressing you at the moment. It's the verb form of that. So I hope this lesson is impressing you. It means I hope this lesson is making you think I'm good. Or I hope this lesson is helping you a lot. It is impressing you. I can say to you, Heidi, you are impressing me with your questions. You are making me think you are good. And then I also could say, your questions are impressive. They are good questions. So I hope that helps. Some examples for you. Thanks, Max. No problem. Zakia says, it's my big ventures. I'm so afraid of meeting people in the presentation project. Okay. Zakia, no, that's not exactly correct. It's not bad, but I'll correct it for you. So you can say, firstly, it's my big venture. Venture, no S. Venture is not countable. It's my big venture. I am so afraid of meeting people in the presentation project tomorrow morning. That is fine. So just the first part. It's my big venture. Venture means like a business opportunity. A business opportunity. That is a venture. If you go into a business, you're having a venture. Thank you, Heidi. I'm glad that helped a lot. Okay, Zakia has another question. She says, what is the difference between the words cost and price? So they are basically the same thing, but they are used differently. So I'll give you some examples. I could say, wow, the cost of living in London is really expensive. The cost of living in London is really expensive. The cost of buying food is going up. So it's usually cost of. Cost of. You can also say, what is the cost? What is the cost? Or what is the price? They have the same meaning. What is the cost? What is the price? But then I could say something like, the price of apples. The price of apples or the price of the computer is expensive. So they almost the same thing, but cost is often used with cost of. So the cost of something. Whereas, yeah, I hope that helps. I hope that helps, yeah. The price. Also price, yeah. The price of, yeah, also price. The price of food is rising. To be honest, it has the same meaning, but cost has a more, it can be more general. Cost can be bigger things like the living cost or the cost of living somewhere is going up, where price is a bit more specific. But yes, good question. They're almost the same. SK says, what's the difference between response and respond? So a response is a noun and respond is a verb. So do you have a response to my question? Do you have a response to my question? So a response is a noun, and can you respond to me, please? Respond then is the verb. Okay, I hope that helps. It's like here's another question. Utmost, ideally, and ultimately. Yes, very similar. Very similar. Ultimately usually means at the end. So ultimately, this is the last point. So that the almost the last thing you have to say, or the last point. Ideally is more perfect, like perfect, in a perfect world. Ideally, I could teach you for 5 hours, but I have to go home. So I can't do it, but ideally I would like to do that. But ultimately it means the last point. So ultimately this has to happen. Ultimately we have to do something, like the last point, the conclusion. That word is paraphernalia. Paraphernalia. I'm not sure exactly how can we use paraphernalia. Let me check that. Paraphernalia. Yes, right. Yes. Okay. So paraphernalia means. Let me check 1 second. Let me just double check. Yeah, actually, I'm not so sure. I need to check that, Max. So let me check it, and you can you ask me the same question next time, and I'll have a better answer for you next time. I need to check that one. It's not a very common word, so I need to check exactly when it is used. I've heard it a lot and I've read it a lot, but I'm not exactly sure. Heidi says, "I wish you and Jack could record more podcasts." Oh, thank you, Heidi. We would love to do more, but we both have full-time jobs and it takes a long time. But yes, thank you. And you can understand everything. That's great. That's good. We try our best to keep the content, clear. We speak naturally, but we try our best to keep the content clear for our students to listen to, because our students are, like you guys, English learners. So we try our best to do that. But we do speak naturally, so that's a key thing. I'm very happy, yes. It's a good podcast. Zakia says, due to the fact that teaching instruction is going to start it, we must leave the classroom as fast as possible. Okay, let me change your sentence for you, Zakia. You can write this down as I'm speaking. So due to the fact that the instruction is going to get started, due to the fact that the instruction, or due to the fact that the lesson is going to get started, we must leave the classroom as fast as possible. Yes, the last part is okay. So maybe due to the fact that the lesson is going to get started, we must leave the classroom as fast as possible. That's better. Teaching instruction is a little bit awkward, so due to the fact that the lesson is going to get started, we must leave the classroom as fast as possible. Oh, thanks, Max. I'm glad you like those lessons. Those podcasts. Okay, guys. So, do you have any more questions for me? We have 11 people here. And again, thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate you coming here and asking me your questions. I enjoy this 1 hour I spend with you. I hope to do one again on Friday. However, I might be doing a live lesson with my friend Robin. Do you know Robin from Shaw English? He has 2 YouTube channels. One is Shaw English and the other is Learn English Live. And we're friends. We both live in Korea and we want to get together and do a live lesson together. So I might do one with him on Friday if we both have time. So I'm not sure if you... Please follow me on Instagram or Twitter or on Facebook, and I will announce my plan for Friday afternoon. Okay, guys, so do you have any final questions for me? It's been about 50 minutes and I will do another 10 or 15 minutes and then I will get some dinner for myself. Okay, so Zakia says, is it similar? Seek, find, search. Yes, they are very similar, of course. Very similar. The difference is that seek is quite formal. And search means that you are actively looking for something. So, for example, yesterday in my house, I found my jacket. I didn't mean to, it wasn't intentional, but I found it just by chance. Search means I'm going to search for something. I'm searching for my jacket. I'm looking. I'm going through my cupboards. I'm going through my clothes and looking for my jacket. I can also say, right now, I'm trying to find my jacket. Also means looking through. So they are similar, but search and they are similar, but find can be by accident. But seek is the same, but seek is more formal. And seek also is used a lot for abstract things, like I'm seeking help or I'm seeking wisdom, something like that. I don't seek my jacket, for example. I seek something else. Okay, so SK is a good question. I can pronounce it bizarre, bizarre, Bizaarre, bizarre. Bizarre means strange, very, very strange. And exquisite, next one is exquisite. Exquisite, that means beautiful, amazing. That is an exquisite sweater. That is an exquisite watch. And jubilant, that means very happy, but very formal word, not that common. Hello, Princey, how are you? I do have a LinkedIn account, actually. I don't use it much. You can search English Like a Pro or Learn English Like a Pro and you can find my LinkedIn account. But I haven't used it in a few months. I should check that, though. Okay, Princey has a good question. $2 billion or $2 billion? It is dollars. Dollars. $2 billion. That is the correct answer. Okay, guys, once again, thank you very much for asking me lots and lots of questions and responding to me. It's been fantastic to meet you. Does anyone have any final questions before I have some dinner for myself? I think I might have spaghetti tonight. Princey says, when we are specifying the exact number, then do we need to use plural? Well, yes. I mean, with money, yes, Princey, with money for sure. So, for example, like I have $2. I have $1, but $2, $3, $1 million. Is plural. Why? Because money is countable, right? So $1, $2. It's not uncountable. It's not like water. One water. Well, this is some water. You can't count water. Thank you, Max. Have a nice evening. So, Princey, yes, you have to. With money, it should be plural if it's more than one. Now, some currencies are different, but the English-speaking currencies like dollars or pounds, then we do make it plural. SK says, how to pronounce my name? Your name is, I guess, SK Parveen. Is that right? SK Parveen? I think you're asking your name. If you're asking my name is Luke. Luke. No problem, Princey. I hope that helps you. Zakia says, how to use the words humankind, men, and people. Really similar, Princey. Zakia. Very similar meaning. Actually, almost the same. So, human... let me think. Yeah, almost the same. So let me think of an example. Humankind. humankind needs to develop faster. People, everyone. But then we can say people need to develop faster. That's the same meaning. And men, people sometimes use men as general, including women as well. However, nowadays, because especially in the UK and in America, English-speaking countries are trying very hard to be very inclusive of women. So people don't say men very much now if they're talking about women and men together. But in a long time ago, people used to say that. But humankind and people can be the same thing. Okay, SK, no problem, thank you. Thank you, SK. Okay, I will answer one more question. So if you have any more questions. Okay, SK has a good question here. My final question is, are you more important than family? What do you think? Am I more important than family? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean, SK. I think family is most important, even more than me. I want my family to do well, but more than I want myself to do well. Hanan has a good question. Hanan asked me, I want to be fluent in English. Can I give lessons? I thank you for asking me, but I'm sorry, I can't do that because I have a full-time teaching job and I teach many hours every week. And I'm sorry, I can't give one-to-one lessons, but I can do live lessons like this to many people for 1 hour. That's no problem, but I don't have time for one-to-one lessons. I do have some grammar courses which are below in the description, so you can click the online course. It's not free, but it's not expensive either. It's just a couple dollars. Yes, Princey, I do have some online courses. There you go. 2 courses at the moment. I have one on you talking about the past, so using past grammar, and the other one is using if sentences correctly. Zakia says, my friend let me down because I cannot speak English well. No, that's not correct, Zakia. To let someone down means to disappoint them or to do something, like you promise something but then don't do that promise. So maybe my friend let me down because we made plans to have dinner but she cancelled. She let me down. Or my friend let me down by saying something rude about me. That could be let down. Okay, and SK says, sorry, are friends more important than family? What do you think? Ooh, tough question, SK. Are friends more important than family? Ooh, I don't know. I'm gonna probably no, probably not. I think family should be the most important to you. But thank you, Princey. See you later. But I have some really close friends and I see them the same as my family, if you know what I mean. So I don't feel... I feel that they're almost equal. But I think mostly, I think that, yeah, family is most important. What do you think? Okay, Zakia says, how to differentiate scarcely, rarely, and presently nowadays. Okay, so presently has a different meaning. So presently means something like... Oh, I see. Scarcely and rarely, presently and... Okay, I see your question. So scarcely and rarely have the same meaning, actually. But scarcely is more for items, where rarely can be for actions. So, for example, I rarely come to work on time. Whereas I scarcely have enough money. I scarcely have enough money to do to buy nice things. That could be a good example of that. Presently and nowadays are the same, exactly the same, but presently is quite formal. So presently would be more likely to... You can find presently in writing, especially academic writing, where nowadays is much more casual and everyday normal English. Okay, SK says, how can you develop a good habit? How How would you develop a good habit? That's a good question. I think you have to really want to develop a good habit. Firstly, you have to decide, okay, I want to do this. I want to be better at something. So you have to take time to have that desire to want to do it. And then you have to be very diligent and focused with yourself to make sure you complete that action over and over again. Habits are just actions that are repeated every day. So you should try for at least 1 week, 2 weeks to do it. Even if it's difficult, do it. And then later it should become easy and it can become a good habit. Good question. Thank you. Okay, so I've been live for 1 hour and I think I'm going to finish here now because it's dinner time for me here in Seoul, Korea. I'm a little bit hungry. I only had a small lunch, so I'm going to go home, have some food. Thank you very much for your questions. I will do a live on Friday, maybe on my channel or maybe on my friend's channel, which is Learn English Live. His name is Robin Shaw. He also has the YouTube channel called Shaw English, which is really, really good. So I might be on his channel or I might be on my channel. So anyway, I might see you on Friday. If I don't see you on Friday, definitely Wednesday at the same time. I will do this every Wednesday. So thank you all very much. I hope you have a nice day. And if you have any more questions, you can write them in the comments and I will check them later or tomorrow. Yes, his name, yes, I'll type his name for you now. He has 2 channels. Those are the names of his channels. Shaw English is a huge channel, has many, many teachers and many, many videos for you to learn English with. Okay, thank you, Heidi. Thank you. Bon appetit. Have a nice afternoon for you in Austria. I hope hope the weather's great. I'm jealous you live in Austria. I definitely want to visit there again one day. Thank you, Hanan. Thank you, Zakia. Okay. Have a nice day. Have a nice day, guys. Take care. Yes. Thank you, Uhi. See you next week. Uhi, you didn't answer many questions, so next time try to think of some questions to ask me. Okay, thank you, Uhi. See you guys. Take care.